Listín Diario editorial for December 31st of 2022. On the threshold of an uncertain year. With a pandemic that does not stop spreading, a global economy dealing with the random attacks of inflation, and a war in which the powers play to recompose the geopolitical board, this is how the world enters 2023 tomorrow. All the advances that were made to stimulate the recovery processes after the severe blows of COVID in the years 2020 and 2021 could be impacted if these factors take place as predicted. As most countries have been forced to borrow as much as possible to cope with the social calamities caused by the pandemic, they have not yet managed to completely overcome the hangovers of that phenomenon. On the contrary, what is looming is that in the efforts to control and bring inflation down to manageable levels, a boomerang effect could be incubating completely in reverse, precipitating the path towards a recession. The same war between Russia and Ukraine, in which the great powers are collaterally implicated, has also been a factor of change in the globalization model that had prevailed until today. This in itself leads to a realignment of nations, which can influence the political and economic schemes that marked a time of peace and stability after the Cold War of the last century, which is revived today on various levels, including technological, military, and commercial exchanges. These are latent realities that may or might not worsen in 2023, but which undoubtedly represent possible anchors for stimuli to advance in the recovery and remediation of the damage caused by COVID and the successive epidemics that have been unleashed since. These realities will inevitably influence the very course of life of the Dominican Republic, and in order to face them, a decisive dose of national unity will be necessary. With the dangerous crisis in Haiti that the Dominican government classifies as a threat to its national security, the fight for recovery will encounter an additional stumbling block. Society has to understand that these risks are in sight and cannot help on that unity of action to face them. I hope that the context of a pre-election year does not divert us from this crucial challenge, and that with that national unity, we save the country from that perfect storm that has already begun to appear. This is the most lively wish of the Listín Diario today, tomorrow, and always. For Listín Diario, voiceover and translations by Indira Rodriguez.